since you've sat in this chair today, this is the third recording of the day. I've wanted to bring up Chakrasamvara a lot. It's been coming up in my mind. I've not brought it up until now.
Okay.
Chakrasamvara is also related to Kailash Parbat.
Yes. We consider it the abode of Chakrasamvara, Kailash.
I'd just like to know everything about Chakrasamvara today.
Wow. It's Chakrasamvara is not exactly a historical being. So you won't find biographies of Chakrasamvara written that he performed such and such. He's, in his essence, he's a very Vajrayana deity. He's a Buddha, not exactly, low level deity. He's a complete enlightened Buddha, but the way he appears is in a very wrathful form, and it's difficult to talk about Chakrasamvara because there's so many different aspects. There are Chakrasamvara with 2 arms, 2 legs. There are Chakrasamvara with multiple arms, multiple legs. So Chakrasamvara is more of a practice than an actual, biographical deity that you can talk about. So Chakrasamvara is more of a practice. So to understand Chakrasamvara, it is better to practice Chakrasamvara, or at least enter the lineage where Chakrasamvara is practiced. So my lineage, Drukpa lineage, Chakrasamvara is our main principal deity, principal Buddha, and Chakrasamvara's consort Vajrayogini is the principal female Buddha. They're always in union. Sometimes they're separate, but even in a separate form, the male or the female is represented in a very hidden form. So, for example, Vajrayogini, there is a very famous aspect of Vajrayogini where she is standing in a dancing mudra, right leg down, left leg up, dancing mudra with a crooked knife in the hand, one couple full of blood. She's very wrathful. She has 3 eyes, 4 fangs, with a blood dripping skull, around 50 heads around her neck. So she looks very wrathful. She looks very, in a way, very, very, very scary. But if you read her tantra, even her 4 fangs represent, for example, the 4 freedom from the 4 maras, from the 4 evils. Yeah, 3 eyes represent seeing the 3 times. Yeah, able to see past, present, and future. So nothing is off limits to her. She can see everything. So she has so many different, even her aspect, just to visualize Vajrayogini or Chakrasamvara, it's like visualizing or conceptualizing the entire Buddhist teachings. So they're condensed in such a way, represented in a deity, as a human deity, human-like looking deity. But the moment you visualize them and you chant the mantras, you're basically trying to absorb all of Buddha's teachings in that very instant. So it's very, very powerful, very heavy, and obviously you need proper guidance until you reach, you become comfortable practicing that. So Vajrayogini, when she's in alone form, she has this Trishul, but it's not with a Trishul with the 3 points. It's a Trishul with a Vajra. And that is Chakrasamvara in a Trishul form that she's holding. We call it Vajra Trishul.
What is Vajra?
Vajra is, from Sanatan Dharam, Vajra is the ultimate weapon, the weapon of Indra. Vajra is something that can destroy anything, but itself cannot be destroyed. So it is basically like this object here, Vajra. So she is holding a trident, but the tip is Vajra, not a three-pronged trident. So that is Chakrasamvara in a hidden form, concealed form. So to understand Chakrasamvara and Vajrayogini, you have to practice them. It is more of an understanding than to, understanding at a very deep spiritual level than to know it from a conceptual level.
Is there a mantra that you're allowed to share publicly? Or are these...
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, not really, because they are very high level practices that in our lineage we receive the teachings after we complete a lot of preliminary practices, foundational practices. Yeah.
Going about the normal human life, we can't even imagine how many secrets are associated with our own faiths. And they'll reveal themselves if you actually engage with the practices related to your faith.
Yes.
Often people question why they're born in a Hindu family or Jain or Buddhist or Sikh family. One of the answers is that, hey, you have access to your ancestors' teachings, but it depends on how much action you're willing to take.
Yes.
And it's the honor and pleasure of my life to get to know about Buddhists from you, because there's so many things I can adopt into my own practice as well.
Yes.
Little things.
So that's the beautiful thing about Buddhism. Lots of gurus always say that they have Christian friends, Muslim friends, Hindu friends, Sikh friends, Jain friends. And sometimes they say that they are actually more Buddhist in terms of practice than they are some of their own Buddhists. So then you can see that Buddhism is not a religion that you have to convert to. It is not an exclusive subscription. It is almost, like I said, it's not exactly a religion. So it's very difficult to define Buddhism. It is more a philosophical, spiritual way of life, adaptable adoptable by anyone. So I have some Muslim friends. They're very Buddhist. Doesn't mean that they have to give up Islam. I have some Hindu friends. They're very Buddhist. If you look at their practices, they're 100% Buddhist. But then they don't have to abandon their faith. As long as it doesn't contradict with some of the core Buddhist values, then it is easier to practice. So in Buddhism, for example, if you take refuge in Dharma, we say that you should abandon harming beings, other beings, harming animals. So try to be vegetarian and so on. You try not to unnecessarily cause harm to human beings and animals and insects, whatnot. So if you see a mosquito flying here, we will never squash it. We'll try to shoo it away. Let it run its own cycle of life. It has a right to live. So there is this respect for life in Buddhism. That is one of the core moral codes of Buddhism, that you respect all life. That is at its heart.